All things are a creation of the mind. People think about the void despairingly, seeing in it the annihilation of the self in its emptiness. But the physical reality is the empty place, where one's divinity is annihilated, and the concept of self is cultivated to hide our internal blinding light. The void, however, for all its nullification, provides the fullness and the quenching of the soul's desire for unity, satisfaction, and completion. This is why satisfaction cannot satisfy, and why emptiness is the path to fullness. We mustn't fear the void, we must embrace the void. We mustn't gratify physical reality and ourselves within it, because we lose our divine essence whenever we gratify and massage this idea of self that we have. Self and non-self are merely illusions, immaterial concepts, appearances, light and dark. They're merely a play of light and dark and shadow, which we take to be the fundamental concept of reality, which isn't necessarily true. Peace. Self and the universe, creator and observer, internal world and external world, are all two sides to one coin. They are appearances. Life is no more my internal world as it is the external world. Internal and external, two sides of one coin. Neither exist, and both exist. If both exist, neither exists. If neither exists, then no thing exists. All is creation of the mind. A dualistic frame of reference is the only frame of reference that our mind is able to see in. But this is not the only experience. Experience and non-experience, they're all two sides to one coin. From our perspective, experience and non-experience, both are true, and neither are true. And as such, no thing is true. You can do this with all things. From the very moment you wake up in distress, disturbed by the world, and disturbed by yourself, think of its complete opposite, and tell yourself how this state and its complete opposite are simply one state, moving from one to the other. And that, rationally, neither state exists, and no state exists. No state exists. Left and right are just a fiction created by a mind that's been forced into a world, created by a world, with certain rules. But these rules don't quantify experience totally, because there's more to experience than that which lies inside the physical realm. And we know this because of what we experience in between the lines of our experience, by which I mean the supernatural events of death, life and rebirth. We are always experiencing peculiarities in death. For example, when we face death ourselves and we're close to it, we find a closeness and connection to others that we know who have passed, friends that have passed, ancestors that have passed. People who are close to death see, feel, hear, they sense the connection of those who have gone before. So all of this is a sort of potent meditation of accommodation. We can accommodate all things using this framework. Bad becomes good, happiness becomes sadness, day becomes night, left becomes right, male becomes female. All things need to embrace their complete opposite in order to achieve fullness. This is why we don't feel full in ourselves, particularly when we are living or walking down a path of narrow-mindedness, right? Where we refuse to see others' perspectives. We can liberate ourselves at any point if we want to. We've got inside of us all that we need at any point to get there. Wisdom and ignorance are two sides of one coin. Both are appearances. Ignorance transits into wisdom. Wisdom transits into ignorance. Appearances are immaterial. Distinctions are a creation of our mind. There is no more a state of ignorance ultimate, as there can no more be a state of wisdom ultimate. Both states require one another. If both states are true, both states cannot be true. No thing is true. Today's a rainy day. It's cold. It's easy to be depressed. I would like to relax in my flat, but it's too noisy to relax. And so on. And these things can get me down, and it would be so easy for these things to get me down, right? Take action as quick as you can with things like depression and stuff like that, right? The second you start to feel down, say, depression and happiness are two sides of one coin. They're merely appearances, immaterial deceptions of our mind, illusions. The world is no more a depressive place than it is a happy place. Happiness and depression flow into each other. They become one another. They support each other. They require each other. Life is no more utter depression as it is utter happiness. Therefore, it is neither. Therefore, no thing exists. Self and non-self are two sides of one coin. The idea of self is an appearance. The idea of selflessness is an appearance. Self and selflessness are merely two sides of one coin. They are immaterial. If life cannot be described or quantified through the lens of self or selflessness, there is no self, and there is no sense of selflessness. There is no thing. So all of this touches on a Buddhist concept of anatta. And this is what we must achieve, a state of selflessness, because with self, identity, ego, we are trapped from finding our connected divinity. It's a connection to all things, all forms, all phenomena. When you have enough love, there is no separation. When you love enough, there is no race, colour, creed, sexuality, religion, separation. There is no separation. When you love enough, there is no separation. But that requires us to quieten the ego and to tell it that it doesn't run the show anymore. Okay, and a lot of our reactions are the ego saying, hey, don't let them do that to us. We're here and we deserve to be here. But at what cost? So, this is my duality meditation. It can be applied to all things. Every single thing that you think of, you must do this with, because it creates this sense of peace, and this sense of peace actually truly accommodates what you can't accommodate. I've never been able to accommodate certain things in my life, but through this meditation in the past couple of weeks, having uploaded the duality video, I've been able to accommodate things. I can accommodate anything now. Nothing. I've said before that I was fearless. There are certain things that I'd rather not experience, but should that happen to me, homelessness, for example, right? Who wants to be homeless? But if it happens to me, it's all two sides of one coin. Okay, homed and homelessness, right? You lose your home and you find that the reality is your home and always was. And there's a provider, the Great Spirit, all spirits, my spirit, your spirit, right? That will provide for us as we've always been provided for. So, reality is a hell of a trip. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're not letting it overcome you. If you are, please consider that reality and unreality, non-reality, two sides of one coin. External reality and internal reality are two sides of one coin. They're all appearances. They're all immaterial. They're all constructions of a mind. And they can all be accommodated, and they can all be overcome.